We like to think of inventors as proud parents, beaming as their creations change the world. But sometimes, the child grows up and causes a bit of chaos, and the parent, left with regret, guilt, and in one case, an actual written apology. Today, on our channel, we're diving into 6 inventions that made history and haunted their inventors. This is Inventor's Remorse. In the late 1990s, Tripod.com developer Ethan Zuckerman had a dilemma. Advertisers didn't want their ads appearing next to risque or controversial user content. So what did he do? He made the ad pop out in its own little window. Voila! The pop-up ad was born. It was effective, annoying, and everywhere. Fast forward to 2014. Zuckerman wrote an essay in The Atlantic titled, "The Internet's Original Sin." In it, he admitted, "I wrote the code. I'm sorry. We forgive you, Ethan. Kind. When Alfred Nobel patented dynamite in 1867, he saw it as a tool to tame the earth, building tunnels, mining riches, reshaping landscapes. But the world had other plans. Dynamite became a tool of war, revolution, and terrorism. When his brother Ludwig died, a French newspaper mistakenly ran an obituary for Alfred with the headline, "The Merchant of Death is Dead." That shook him. He spent the rest of his life trying to reshape his legacy, and in his will, created the Nobel Prizes, awards for peace, science, and human advancement. A literal blast from the past, followed by a lifelong atonement. The atomic bomb wasn't the work of one person, but among its creators, the remorse was deeply personal. J. Robert Oppenheimer, often called the father of the atomic bomb, famously quoted the Bhagavad Gita after witnessing the first successful detonation, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." He spent much of his later life advocating against nuclear proliferation, haunted by the magnitude of what he helped unleash. Some inventions change warfare. This one changed existence. Thomas Midgley Jr. was an inventive chemist with a tragic Midas touch. In the 1920s, he introduced tetrethyl lead to gasoline to reduce engine knock. Problem solved, right? Until we realized lead is toxic. Very toxic. Midgley knew this. Workers died. He even staged a demonstration where he poured lead on his hands to prove its safety. It was theater. And it was deadly. Oh, and he also invented CFCs, those ozone-depleting refrigerants we phased out in the 90s. He may be the single most environmentally destructive inventor, and yet he died before seeing the full scale of the damage. This one's less tragic and more ironic. Inventor Dean Kamen envisioned the Segway as a revolutionary transportation device. Steve Jobs and Jeff Bezos allegedly praised its potential before it even launched, but when it did, it became a mall cop meme. Kamen didn't exactly regret the Segway, but in interviews he admitted it never became the game-changer he envisioned. Cities weren't ready, culture didn't shift, and infrastructure stayed the same. In fact, the company's own owner, Jimmy Heselden, tragically died in 2010, falling off a cliff on a Segway. The future, it turns out, has a steep learning curve. The AK-47 is one of the most recognized weapons on Earth. Durable, cheap, and deadly, it's been in countless wars, uprisings, and civil conflicts. Its inventor, Mikhail Kalashnikov, was a Soviet tank mechanic who wanted to help defend his country. But as the rifle spread beyond borders, he began to struggle with what he had created. In a 2010 letter to the Russian Orthodox Church, he wrote, "The pain in my soul is unbearable. I keep asking myself, if my rifle took lives, am I responsible for their deaths?" He died 4 years later, a hero to some, a symbol of regret to others. Invention is powerful. It's the spark that moves civilizations. But sometimes, the spark lights a fire the inventor never meant to start. These creators, brilliant minds no doubt, remind us that every innovation carries consequences. And with great power, yeah, you know the rest. If you found this episode thought-provoking, hit subscribe for more stories behind the patents, the progress, and the people who shaped our world, for better or worse. This was Inventor's Remorse. Thanks for watching.